became so inspired by this whole process of rediscovering my passion to climb. I haven't been this passionate or obsessed with climbing in a few years now. Okay, this is the story of Clarity. Clarity is a cool one. It's a sick line. It's probably the purest line there, actually. Maybe one of the three purest lines. Definitely the last line to be done that's actually pure and not contrived. But the Clarity is more than just an everyday project. You know, it was more than just these holds look sick, the moves look cool, the climbing style looks fun, let's go and do it. Clarity, at least for me, was this spiritual process, I would actually say the finalizing of a very spiritual journey I went on over the last couple months. That's why it's called Clarity. It really helped me clarify everything I was feeling and allowed me to rediscover my passion for climbing. For the last 2 years, I've felt in a plateau with my climbing. I've felt all these different feelings, these negative emotions around my own ability to be an athlete as a climber. I've lost sight of what makes me passionate to climb, what makes me passionate to project, passionate to train, and all those things. I lost sight of all of it. What I ended up realizing was I was becoming so consumed by this false reality that I had to compete, I had to train, that I wasn't really allowed to do certain aspects of climbing that I was passionate about. I don't know, because I felt obligated to do that as a competition climbing coach versus more of the kind of switching sides to go into the outdoor realm and just pushing what I'm capable of. And I felt that, or at least what I was feeling was that if I wasn't competing, if I wasn't training like that in the gym, I was going to be disappointing the people closest to me. Yes. And then when I say it out loud now, I'm just like, it's definitely nowhere near true, nowhere near reality, but it's what I was feeling. And I felt like I couldn't necessarily follow my passions because it wasn't what I felt like I was obligated to do. I just wasn't climbing or training for myself. I wasn't pursuing the sport based on passion. I was pursuing the sport based on obligation. And it makes perfect sense why I was in such a plateau for that time, because I'm just forcing myself to climb. I'm forcing myself to go to these competitions and travel. I'm forcing myself to do all these different things that I don't really want to do. And I'm not embracing my own psyche. I'm not embracing my own passion. I wasn't climbing for myself. I was climbing for other people. Because I felt obligated to climb for other people, and how I got too consumed by how disappointing people closest to me, which never was true, never would have been true, or anything like that. But that is what went through my head. I got so consumed by those ideas, and it just pulled me away from my own passion. So the way in which I kind of came back to rediscovering my passion was through just a bunch of life changes happened a couple months ago. And the whole summer has been this period of reflection, of really just evaluating everything I'm doing in my life outside of just climbing being a climber and being an athlete, like even as a coach, like all of these things just were being reflected upon. Everything in my life was being reflected on heavily. And, you know, I got to a point where I was not happy. I was trying to regain my psyche. All these emotions were boiled up inside me. All these emotions were coming out at once. And it threw me into a period of reflection. So, as I went through this reflection period, I basically had a bunch of conversation with myself, asked myself a lot of very deep questions, you know, really trying to discover what was going on with me mentally. As I kind of just kept going through this and asking myself these questions of, why do I climb? Why do I even coach? Why did I go through this whole process of drowning myself into this sport, into this obsession with these ideas of the sport? And why I love the sport, why I'm so passionate about it, why I seek this growth, or why I want to push myself to the absolute max, and why I want to inspire all these climbers around me that I work with and coach and mentor. And I realized it was just not clear. I was just not clear on it. Though I ended up really going back to a lot of things that I dealt with in like high school, like just other emotional trauma, we'll put it as, that I just didn't really realize that I hadn't reconciled. I thought I was going a different way, and it turns out that there were just so many things I was blinded to. So what I did was I made the decision to start trying to embrace different aspects of the sport. One of the things I learned in myself was, in terms of like my passion, or finding that passion, was I really just want to know what I'm capable of. I love pushing my limits. I don't want to just climb the next grade. I don't want to just train the next generation of climbers. I want to feel that passion behind it. I don't want to do it because I'm obligated to do it. I want to do it because I genuinely am inspired by it. So I tested myself, I challenged myself to open my mind and release these feelings of obligation, right? Like not caring what other people might think, or what my coaches, or what my team kids, or what my family, or what my friends might think of me. I opened my mind to find my own passion, or to rediscover it, I should say. So between the experiences of Seco Block back in August and the recent North American Cup comp I went to, and beginning the process on the Clarity Boulder, and also this other local project like not far from my house that is well above what I'm currently capable of. The combination of all these things over the months of August and September really slapped me in the face for me to understand like what was going on with me emotionally and psychologically, and even like spiritually. Like this whole thing hits me on a spiritual level. Getting the first ascent of that line is so much more than just like, yeah, we added a new line to Lorimer, or you know, we ticked off another hard boulder. It's the whole grand scheme of that 2 months, and clarity, the sending clarity and establishing it, really marking the, like, I don't want to say crossing the finish line, because there's still more work to be done. There's still more discovery I need to make within myself. But it definitely crosses a line, we'll say a finish line, of making that full shift into understanding what my passion really is within the sport. And now crossing the finish line, opening a new chapter of embracing what those passions are. And that's what clarity gave me. It really gave me all the clarity I needed to make that emotional shift in my climbing and in my life. And while I wish 2 years ago, or like a year and a half ago, whatever it was, like I could have learned this earlier and maybe rediscovered my passion years ago, but at the same time, I've become grateful for having that plateau and having the mental and emotional agony over the summer, because I feel like the larger that experience was, the better I am off now. And I feel like I've learned so much more about myself and about how I want to pursue this sport from a passion perspective that I don't think I would have learned nearly as much if this experience, or this whole, like, I guess agony is the word I'll use for it, didn't go on as long as it did. So that's kind of that's where this all comes from with the clarity boulding.